power chords now, for you to get used to the shape using your first, third, and fourth finger on your fret hand. It's a great practice. Power chords are also awesome because you could add distortion to your electric guitars and just rock out on them. Now, power chords or fifth chords are super useful. They're lots of fun, and it's an easy way to substitute. So you could substitute these power chords for a song with a full bar chord in it that you're not ready to play yet. Oftentimes, you could substitute the power chord. And all a power chord is it's just a chord with 2 notes in it, or 3 notes if it has the octave. Or you might have seen it listed out as like a fifth chord like this. You might see a G with a 5 next to it, G5, or D5, or E5 is a common one, right? And those are just called fifth chords because it basically consists of a note and it's fifth. You don't really have to worry about the theory, and I don't want to bog you down with too much theory. I want you to get you playing guitar, having fun. So the big thing is the shape of the chord. So let's just play, we'll focus down here at the 3rd fret. It's a G note, right? So here's the shape. We're going to play that note with our first finger, and then we're going to go up 2 frets on the A string with our 3rd finger. Play that D note. And if you play both those notes together, that chord is called G5, or a G power chord, because it's just the root, G, and it's fifth, D. What we're going to do though is we're going to add the octave, and that means we're going to add our pinky to the D string, also at the 5th fret, right underneath the 3rd finger. And you can see close-ups of this. Now, if I was to move that down a whole step, do you see the shape stays the same? By shape, I'm meaning the voicing, my fingers. It's the same shape, I'm just moving it to a different root note. In this instance, take that whole cluster and move it down a whole step. Guess what? We know our 1st fret on the low E string is an F. That becomes an F fifth. Right? If at the 3rd fret, it's a G fifth because that note at the 3rd fret low E string is a G. Now, if I take this whole package, this whole cluster, and move it up to the 5th fret, that is an A5. Because at the 5th fret, low E string, that's an A note. Remember, 2nd dot is our A. 1st dot, or that 3rd fret dot, is a G. We go up G sharp A. We play the shape. If I bring it up another whole step to the 7th fret, we know that's a B note there. It becomes a B5. This is a huge principle, and this is how bar chords, power chords work. The shape stays the same. So you just learn basically 12 new chords by learning one shape. Now you know an F5, an F sharp 5, a G5, a G sharp 5, an A5, an A sharp 5, or B flat 5, a B, a C5. If I said play a D5 power chord, on the low E string is played at the 10th fret. Find the D note, even if you have to count up, right? D is at the 10th fret, low E string, then play that shape. There's our D5 power chord. All right, so try getting those to sound good on the low E string. Let's do the A string power chord. It's the exact same shape, right? We're just going to move it down. We're moving everything down. So if you start with this G5, now take all 3 notes, just drop them 1 string each. We have another power chord. Now this is on an A string root, or 5th string root, starting with the A string. We're playing the 3rd fret of the A string. That's a C note. And we're playing our power chord shape. So that means we have a C5, C power chord. Because we're playing the shape on the low root of C, which is the 3rd fret of the A string. Now, the only thing different I want you to do is, with this, we're only playing 3rd fret A string, 5th fret D, 5th fret G. That's the notes C, G, and C again. And 2 notes, 5th chord. Now, the only thing is, you do not want to play the low E string. If you do, you're going to hit that open. Sounds terrible. Little trick. What I'm doing is I'm muting the low E string by letting the tip of my 1st finger extend just over the A string to touch, just lightly touch. See? It's muting that low E string. A string root. Notice the 3rd and 4th fingers, how they're attached, right? And notice also this 1st finger, how it's not down here. because then the low E string is going to muddy that chord up. Notice? I move it up a little bit. See? Now it's muting. It's just touching. It's so important to mute that low E string. So you want to do that on all your 5th string root chords. Pretty much. See, I'm at the 5th fret now. I'm at D5. But I'm muting that low E string because I don't want to hear that. I want to hear it from that D note. So if I go from my C down 1/2 step or 1 fret and play, there's our B5 or B power chord. Power chords are a lot of fun. If you have an electric guitar and distortion, crank it up on 11. Crank that sucker. Throw on your distortion pedal or the distortion on the amp and have fun because power chords sound awesome. Oftentimes full bar chords aren't going to sound as good. Too many notes with that distortion and the clashing, but the power chords always sound awesome. And now I'm going to give you some exercises starting to move those power 5th chords around. We're going to do some exercises moving them around with low E string roots. Then we're going to do A string roots, power chords, moving them. And then we're going to mix low E and A strings so you're kind of hopping around on the neck. And you could do these with tons of different strum patterns. I'll give you a couple to get you going. So let me give you a practice progression. Let's go G5 to an F5, which is at the 1st fret. Then go up to the 5th fret to the A5. And then let's go back to the 3rd fret, which is G5. So you get this. Notice I'm keeping this shape the exact same as I'm just moving it and sliding it along the strings. I'm not taking my hand apart just to put it back together. It's the same shape. Okay? So let's just do a down, down, up, down, up strum. Sound like this. G5, F5, A5, G5. One more time. G5, F5, A5. And once you get better with your rhythms, you can come up with other fun rhythms, you know? Let's do another one. Let's go B, which is at the 7th fret, B5. We'll take that up to the 10th fret, which is D5. All the way down to the 3rd fret, G5. And then to A5. Let's do down, up, down, up, down, up. B5, D5, G5, A5. Right? Make up a strum pattern. Do something a little different. Sliding that chord around, getting used to the shape, getting the notes to ring true. That's what these exercises are so good at. Let's move it to the 5th string root, or the A string. And let's go at the 2nd fret, A string root. That's our B note. 2nd fret, A string, and we're playing the B5, same shape. Let's take that up to the 5th fret, which is the D5. So we're going B, D. Then let's go to F sharp, which is at the 9th fret, to E, 7th fret. So remember, on those 5th string roots, you gotta mute that low E string. You could even do like a downstroke, all downs, and kind of palm mute it. Lay your hands on the string. I'm just kind of muting it, and what I'm doing there is I'm playing just like, see, that's just my 1st finger, that's just the root note I'm playing, just that 5th string, that A string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and kind of an eighth note, but so I'm going root, 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 chord. And I'm just coming up with a rhythm. Just by picking this out, I'm doing all downstrokes. Here's the progression. I'll open it up a little bit. Giving you some ideas to, help boost your creativity and to make it fun while you're practicing these techniques. Let's go to another set of exercises where we're going to mix the low E string roots, power fifth chords, with your A string root, power fifth chords. And this is going to start getting you to move between sets of strings. Let's start on a fifth string root, B5 chord, A string root. Then move that straight up to the sixth string root, which will be at the second fret, which will be an F sharp fifth chord, right? So we'll go B5, F sharp 5, then fifth fret A string, D, that's a D5, and then fifth fret low E string, that's an A chord. So there's our progression. Notice when I make that change, I'm not coming from the fifth string root B5, taking my hand apart and off and this way to get to that same exact shape on the F sharp on the sixth string root. I'm just kind of kicking my fingers up a little bit. That's all this is. That's it. I'm kind of even just dragging them on the strings. That's how you want to get your changes super proficient. At first, you just give one hit each, so they sound clear, right? Then do it with the pattern. Okay, now notice that's an A5 chord on the sixth string root. I got to get from here, to that second fret, fifth string root. So I got to take this and I got to move it to there. Notice how I do that if I really do it super slow. See how I keep this shape together? My hand stays in that formation, that cluster, as I move it here. That's critical. I don't do this. I don't take my hand apart just to put it exactly back together. Leave it right there. And like any change, if you have trouble going from one to the next, just do back and forth 10 times a day. Write it down in your practice log. And that's how you'll conquer it. Right? Try it with a different strum pattern. Let's take another one. Let's do E5, which at the 7th fret, 5th string root on the A string. And let's take that up to a C5, which is at the 8th fret of the E string, 6th string root. Right? And then let's go to the D5 on the 5th string root, to the G5, 6th string root. So you have this movement. Strum pattern. Right, and roll that through. Let's start on the 6th string root now. Let's do a G5. Let's take it to a B flat 5. You're going to see that chord too. B flat is the first fret on the A string. So we're going to go G, B flat, go straight up to F, and then back to G. So you do the G twice. Let's take it with a strum pattern. G5 again. Keep in that cluster. Once you practice those, get those changes to sound good. Strum really slow, because the slower you strum, the more time you'll have to make the change. The faster you strum, you're going to have to change those chords really fast. Stay positive, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Keep rocking.